In 1776, America was a collection of dirt farms and wooden ships. No factories, no banks, no railroads, no electricity. 250 years later, America controls more wealth than the next four countries combined. 27 trillion in GDP, 140 trillion in household wealth. That didn't happen by accident. And it didn't happen the way your textbook said it did. Here's what nobody tells you. Right now, you are living in the most prosperous nation in human history, and most people have no idea why. You use the dollar every day. You don't think about why it's accepted in 180 countries. You drive on highways. You don't think about who decided to build 41,000 miles of them in one decade. You invest in the stock market. You don't ask why the New York Stock Exchange became the center of global capital, and not London, not Paris, not Shanghai. These weren't accidents. They were decisions, specific decisions, made at specific moments, by people who understood something most of their peers didn't. And here's why this matters to you. Not as a history lesson, but right now. The same forces that built American wealth are still operating today. If you understand the mechanism, you can position yourself inside it. If you don't, you're just living in it without knowing the rules. I've spent the last year going through primary sources, Treasury records, congressional debates, Federal Reserve transcripts, economic histories most people never read. Not to tell you America is perfect, it isn't, but to show you exactly how a broke, newly independent country became an economic superpower in a time frame that has never been replicated in human history. It came down to 5 decisions. Here they are. Decision 1. Hamilton's debt bet. In 1790, Alexander Hamilton faced a crisis. The new United States owed $54 million, roughly $1.7 billion in today's money. Every other country in history would have tried to pay it off fast, or just default. Hamilton did neither. He assumed all the state's debts, centralized everything, then made a radical argument to Congress. Debt, managed correctly, is not a burden, it's a signal. If America paid its debts reliably, investors worldwide would trust American bonds. They'd lend cheaply, and that cheap capital would fund factories, canals, expansion. He was right. Within 10 years, U.S. government bonds were trading at par in London, the same price as British bonds. Unheard of for a former colony. Europe's capital started flowing west. Here's your takeaway. Credibility compounds. The country, or the person, with a reputation for reliability gets cheaper money than everyone else, forever. It's why the 10-year Treasury is still called the risk-free rate. Credibility is infrastructure. But capital flowing in is only half the equation. The other half is what you build with it. Decision 2. Jefferson's land grab. In 1803, one real estate deal doubled the size of America for less than 3 cents an acre. The Louisiana Purchase. $15 million, 828,000 square miles. Thomas Jefferson was terrified to do it. It wasn't in the Constitution. He didn't have the votes. He did it anyway. What he bought wasn't just land. He bought the Mississippi River watershed, the most productive farmland on Earth. He bought New Orleans, the port through which 40% of North American commerce would flow. He bought a buffer against Europe for the next century. By 1850, that territory produced more cotton, corn, and wheat than the entire eastern seaboard combined. By 1900, American exports were feeding Europe. That's when the trade surpluses started. That's when the dollar started mattering globally. Your takeaway? The biggest returns in history come from buying undervalued assets when everyone else is uncertain. Jefferson bought when France was distracted by war and desperate for cash. The seller panicked. The buyer stayed patient. You'll see this exact pattern again. Because land and credit are necessary, but they're not enough. The real multiplier is something else entirely. Decision 3. The industrial obsession. 5 to 6:30. In 1793, a British mechanic named Samuel Slater memorized the design of a textile mill. Technology Britain had made it illegal to export and smuggled the plans to America in his head. He built the first American factory in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Within 40 years, New England had more textile mills than all of Britain. But here's what made America different. Americans didn't just copy the technology. They obsessed over making labor cheaper. Britain had workers. America had land. So American manufacturers built machines that replaced labor constantly. Not out of cruelty, out of necessity. Labor was scarce and expensive. That created a loop Britain couldn't replicate. Higher wages forced automation. Automation raised productivity. Higher productivity raised wages again. By 1890, American manufacturing passed Britain. By 1913, before World War I, America was making 1/3 of the world's industrial output. One country, 1/3 of everything made on Earth. Your takeaway? Constraints drive invention. America automated because it had to, and the companies building systems that replace expensive human time today, AI, software, are running the exact same playbook from 1830. The mechanism hasn't changed, only the tools have. But production alone doesn't make you the richest country. You also have to control the rules of the game. Decision 4. Making the dollar the world's money. July 1944. World War II is still raging. 44 nations send delegates to a resort in New Hampshire to design the post-war financial system. America holds 70% of the world's gold, so the deal is simple. Every currency pegs to the dollar. The dollar pegs to gold at $35 an ounce. America guarantees it. The world accepts. In one weekend, the US dollar becomes the global reserve currency. Here's what that actually means. When Japan buys oil from Saudi Arabia, they pay in dollars. When Brazil imports German machines, they price them in dollars. Every country on Earth needs dollars just to participate in global trade. That means endless demand for American currency. It means America can run deficits no one else can. It means American interest rates move every economy on Earth. Economists call it exorbitant privilege. It's worth trillions a year, silently, invisibly, every single day. Your takeaway? Whoever controls the settlement layer of a system extracts value from every transaction in it. Currencies, platforms, operating systems, same rule. But position isn't permanent. America has to keep earning it. Power requires maintenance. Decision 5. Making failure legal. America's greatest advantage isn't technology, it's failure tolerance. Germany has better engineers. Japan has better manufacturing discipline. China has more workers. But America has something none of them have at scale: a culture and a legal system that treats failure as information, not disgrace. You can declare bankruptcy in America and start over. In most of the world, business failure follows you for life. American venture capital expects most bets to fail. They model for it. They price for it. So thousands of experiments run at once. The failures clear out fast. The rare winners scale with no friction. Amazon lost money for years. Apple nearly died in 1997. Google tried to sell itself to Excite for $1 million, and Excite said no. That tolerance for failure, backed by deep capital markets, is the operating system underneath American innovation. No other country has fully copied it. Your takeaway? Your relationship with failure determines your ceiling. This mechanism is available to every single person living here. The capital exists, the second chances exist. Most people just never use them because the stigma is in their head, not the law. We started with a number, 140 trillion in household wealth, built in 250 years, starting from nothing. Now you know it wasn't luck. Decision 1. Hamilton turned debt into credibility. Decision 2. Jefferson bought the best land on Earth for 3 cents an acre. Decision 3. American industry automated its way past Britain. Decision 4. Bretton Woods made the dollar the world's money. Decision 5. America made failure legal and turned it into an innovation engine. 5 decisions, compounding over 2.5 centuries, and every one was made by someone who understood the system well enough to see where the leverage was. That's the real skill. Not luck, not timing. Seeing the leverage. And that skill is available to you right now. If this is the kind of thinking you want more of, subscribe. We do this every week.